Well, hello everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. Good morning, Alicia.
Good morning.
Oh my God, yesterday I sent an audio message to all of the employees of Soul Studio, and I felt like I would these aren't people that I'm friends with. I know them a lot and I love them, but I'm not blah, blah. That's what I did in the audio message. I'm like, have a good night, everyone. And then I send, I'm like, I'm so sorry about the voices I just made in the prior audio message.
It was like you forgot who you were talking to?
Yeah, I just got into it. You know how I do some singing sometimes? I'm like, good morning.
When you got home and you started sending me audio message again, it was life. And I'm listening to them on the couch. Neil's laughing. He's like, what? He goes, did she just say anything?
Nothing is being said all the time. Okay, I have a question for you. I was thinking about this. At what age do we start listening to music of our age? Let me explain. Yesterday, Volvo came to pick up my car and they left me their car. And in their car was 103.9, which is music from my parents' time, kind of. Okay. Then I also borrowed my dad's truck in the morning to go to the hairdresser, 103.9, right? Then I get back into my Volvo because my Volvo's back from the guy. He had changed my radio to 103.9. And I'm like, I want today's music, right? Because I listen to 94.5. At what age? They clearly went out of their way to get back to 103.9. So they clearly didn't like 94.5. What age does that happen? Because I'm still sticking with the times. I'm still sticking with today's music. I still like today's music. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I feel like I'm the wrong person to have this conversation with.
Right. You don't even listen to to music.
You'd be so disappointed in me. I get in my car.
Silence.
Stop. Actually, I don't even know. I'm going to confess this to you. I don't even know how to work the radio.
Stop.
In either of my vehicles.
And it's not like you have the brand new technology.
No.
Well, I think the radio is the only thing you have. I don't think you have XM radio.
No, for sure not. I might have a CD. I might actually have a CD in my car.
We need to know. You need
I
to
think
go
I do.
Right now.
Okay, my car is broken. The radio is broken, but no one has put any effort into fixing it.
Oh my God. Do you plug your phone? Can you plug your phone? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you plug Spotify? No.
I can, but the Bluetooth is really awkward on the van. It's Neil or I've never put the effort into being consistent to having a way to listen to music in my vehicles.
This is groundbreaking. This is not okay.
I
want to help you.
On a road trip, I will make sure Neil's phone is connected and we listen to podcasts with the kids and we do listen to music.
Okay.
But Neil's an old man. He has 10 songs he just listens to over and over.
Okay. So I guess what's happening is 94.5. It plays a lot of Mariah Carey. It plays from my time. When I went to school, there are tons of music that they play that I'm like this, but I think it's what they do from noon to 1. It's old, 90s or whatever, or 2000s. Anyways, but I do feel like I'm still up to date with my music preference is still with today's music.
And I think that's more you. It's a personality thing with you. I mean, sometimes on my walk, I put on Spotify today's top hits. Does that make you feel better?
Yes, I'm really proud of you. Those are awful songs usually. They're just it's Justin Bieber. I mean, Justin Bieber's my jam. I'm not saying anything bad about Justin Bieber. I'm just saying there's a lot of today's music that's boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. There's no words. I need a good story. I can't just have sounds. I need is he happy? Is he sad? Are they lovers? Also, listening to today's music, it's very sexual. But then I remember old music. Sometimes I have a 90s routine at Spin. Oof. Wow. Say kick shows though. So I'm see, maybe it's just the type of music I listen to, and people are I didn't listen to that kind of music. Anyways, it was just it all happened the same day. everyone changed to 103.9. And I was like, and then I listened to a few of those musics, and it's just more a little old, like you have to be a little older to like be like that. It's still really good songs. I knew the words though. So like, but I'm like into music, but like what age does that happen that you would prefer not today's music? Like clearly my dad, if I have 94.5, he's like, oh my God, turn off that. You know what I mean? It's more like Bryan Adams at 103.9. That's it. That's all I got. Bryan Adams.
I think we're gonna need more people to tell us what
Okay,
they
tell
are.
us.
You guys,
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Are you listening to your music from when you were hip?
Hip and happening. Also,
Or
how
are you
many?
like
Oh,
Jose and you're still hip?
so hip. Okay, so we didn't talk about the fact that I was back from my vacation on last podcast, and that was it was so fun to listen to Tips with Tony's podcast. I
Yes.
listened to it while I was on vacation. What a good podcast, huh?
Yes.
Guys, if you didn't listen to that, that was really good.
It
She
was
has a
so
lot of the
nice
same.
to have her. I really enjoy her, and she's a registered dietitian. And she shares a lot of our same values. Sometimes the registered dietitian are really, really, really pushing the like super high nutrient dense, which is obviously amazing. That's their place. I get that, but she and she also does, but she just leaves room for real life.
She leaves room for a conversation.
She,
That's what I feel like is not out there enough. How about we have a conversation? You can't just have someone joining, like literally when join your program and be like, here you go, without having a conversation. For me, it's like, that's why you're weight loss. When people start, they're like, well, where's my thing? Where's my here you go? And I'm like, your here you go is the Be Your Best program where you sit with yourself and you get to have a moment with yourself and figure out what you want out of this, who you are. It's team. Sending an email to team. It's a conversation with yourself or with our team or both. But it can't be, and it takes time. And you have that's why the start is so different. There's no space for a conversation in most programs. It's like, here's the program. Yeah, but there needs to be a conversation. I don't know you. Everyone's so freaking different.
And people are just so used to that, getting their paper, getting their rules, going to the grocery store, buying the things, throwing the shit out of their house that's not on the list, starting the workout program. They're just so used to that concrete start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, I have a question.
Ooh.
Is The Biggest Loser still on?
Oh, I don't know.
Do people
was
still
not
watch TV?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I don't even know. Oh, I was at my hairdresser and she's like, we just put on the TV. I'm like, TV is still a thing? Like, how do I even put on the TV? You don't know how to put on the radio? I don't know how to put on the TV. What's on the TV? What is on there other than HGTV? TLC?
I feel like a lot of places maybe that are making TV shows now, it's like a streaming. You can stream it somewhere. I need to reassess what I had as a streaming service.
Okay, wait. What does streaming mean? What is that when people are like, it's streaming? Like,
basically, like I can get it anytime. You know what I mean?
When people ask me that, like, is that streaming? I'm like, I don't know what the question is. And so it's like one of those English fancy words that I just like throw there. It makes me feel fancy. It's streaming right now. I don't know where. I don't know what that means. I guess the next question is, at what age, Alicia, do we watch TV again?
I think we'll never do it again. I don't think. Okay, so wait, I feel like you asked me so many things and have not had the answer to any of them. I also wanted to say, whoever invented streaming services was smart about how much money per month they make it, because they make it just enough so they're making lots of money, but not enough to cancel it when you don't really use it, because that's annoying to cancel. Who remembers their password? It just like magically comes out of our bank account. You know what I mean? I'm not going to cancel $7.99 a month, but then that's adding up.
It is adding up.
2021, there was a Biggest Loser show.
That's not streaming.
I'm not sure on which platform you could watch this. I could ask that again. There's some things on YouTube. Oh, Biggest Loser starts Saturday, January 8th, 2020. 2022, I mean.
2022, like this year.
Yeah.
January 8th. So it's going on right now, or maybe it's done.
They're like filming it.
Oh, I hope they change their way, huh?
That was so heartbreaking, and like
Yeah,
the people that were like the finalists, you know what I mean? How thin they would get, and imagine what they were doing at home to try
yeah,
and win that
it was
money.
so result driven. Which I mean, I get it, it's a show and like whatever.
And
I'm
like
not saying
next level. Do you know what I mean? It was like next level. I'm sure they were hungry and tired.
absolutely. Also, I feel like Bob has good intentions, and Jillian, I think these are good people, and I think they
Oh,
had
they're
like good
not on it
intentions.
anymore.
No, but that's like how it started. I don't know the other series of other people. Um, that's when I watched over and over eating chips on my couch. I just felt like they weren't the only lives they were changing were the people they were actually with. Like, because people watching were like, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So it, like really didn't change people's lives though
I
that
mean,
are watching at home.
and even the people that were there, like
No,
how
no, yeah, they just changed them physically for 2 seconds, and then they were bye. I'm just seeing like how Bob would go into their home and like throw out all their shit in their pantry and stuff, and I'm like, see, we need a conversation. And they also don't live alone. It was just like not for everyday life.
no, I don't think I imagine you've been removed, like physically removed from everything familiar,
Your environment,
your environment, and then we plunk you back in.
right? Oh my God, that must have been devastating. Yeah. Oh, do you remember when they would come back home for like, I don't know, like a visit? It was almost like jail. Like, oh, we're going to go back home for a visit and then come back. But they would get visits from their friends, or they would go back home for like a weekend or something. And then they would go out, and then they couldn't eat at the restaurant. I remember that. Or some people would go all out, and then they would get like a talk from Jillian. Tell me about Jillian. Like, what does she do? What's her thing? From whatever
Like
you
what
know. If you don't know, just say I don't know. But like, what's her vibe? What's her message on into the internet?
her message is very, and as much as my message doesn't align with her message, what I love about her is she's like, this is who I am. Like this is what I believe in. Like she's like she genuinely believes that. She's like hardcore. Like
Okay, hardcore.
her workouts, she's like, I don't care if you don't want to do this, you're lazy. Like get off your ass, do this. And it's like intense things.
Okay. So that's
I think
her way.
I think she's an intense person.
Yes. Imagine me being like on, not like as a contestant, but like as a helper on The Biggest Loser. I'd be like, if you don't want to do this, it's fine. Like, you don't like, I'd be like I'm almost like not too nice. And some people would say like, well, you need discipline, whatever. I'm like, no, you, at the end of the day, I don't think another person should be choosing what, like she did all of that and did all of those transformations, those physical transformations. And at the end of the day, like she didn't change who these people are in terms of like inside and making them choose and like whatever. And that's what I want. Like we just have different intentions and different ways of showing up. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's hardcore. She's hardcore. But do you know that Bob had a heart attack? Did you know that?
Mhm. I did. This was a while ago,
Yeah.
and he was like struggling. There was like some struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. He was struggling, and I think he went plant-based because of it.
Ah,
Yeah, I think he completely switched his diet and went completely plant-based.
I mean, almost dying will do that to you, like
What's
changing shit around.
what's his last name?
Bob, oh, they're just yelling at us.
Ooh, I want to say Bob
Bob,
Barker.
yeah, Bob Barker. I would say Bob Saget. Bob, Biggest Loser. Just write that.
I'm writing it.
Same. Bob
Harper.
Harper. That's what you said. What did you say? Bob Barker. It's the same.
He's quite handsome.
He is very handsome.
Oh, it says he's the biggest
Oh,
loser on USA, so he
whoa,
must still be doing
he's
it.
like grayed out, and I am here for it, everyone. Look at him.
There's some David Beckham
Ooh.
vibes there a little bit.
Yes, I like his skeleton tattoos. Do you like tattoos?
I do.
I do too.
You know
He's
that Bob is
56
gay,
years
eh?
old. I do know that Bob is gay.
Okay.
56 years old, looking sharp. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Allison
Mhm.
Sweeney, that was random. That was random that she was the host and she was also in Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was so random. She
I
had
think
lost
maybe
weight.
she had her own weight loss journey, yeah.
Yeah, that's why she like, but it was so random because we only saw her as what was her name? What was her name?
Oh,
What was
oh.
her name? Allison Sweeney was
Did you
known for
watch?
Sammy.
Did you watch Days of Our Lives when you were that age, like middle school, high school?
So what happened is my babysitter would watch Days of Our Lives. So I got kind of caught up in that. Mire was a big Days of Our Lives watcher. I was not as much. But it was definitely more later that I got into Days of Our Lives, not at the beginning. You know what I really liked? Passions. Do you remember Passion?
Nope.
Oh my God, I was obsessed with that. It's like the,
Days of Our Lives, I was watching.
is that still on?
We were renovating our house. We renovated our whole house, and my dad worked from home. And basically, we all lived in one room, basically. So I was watching Days of Our Lives after school, and then it was in my dad's office. And then my dad got addicted to watching Days of Our Lives
Stop.
because he was like, you get like sucked right in.
Oh man, we literally you could miss a month's worth of episodes. Nothing happened. Nothing like why were we watching this? Is that still a thing? Is soap opera that's on TV? That's not streaming.
That's definitely not streaming. I think they're still making Days of Our Lives.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty.
Marlena,
Yeah, Marlena,
and
because I
John
think
and
Lisa Rinna
John.
is still on there sometimes.
And then there's John, and then there's evil John. Right? There was like a bad John, and then they would die and come back.
57 seasons, Days of Our Lives.
Stop.
57 seasons.
No. Stop.
True story.
Oh my God. It's almost this podcast needs to be its own thing. I don't even know if we have time.
We have time. What is
All right.
Okay, refocus. Thank you for
Refocus.
going down memory lane with us, everyone.
This is what oh my God, while we were on vacation we would play volleyball all the time with like a ball that I bought for $2 at Walmart, which was the best investment of the whole vacation.
Okay.
So I would play. Basically Jeff was like, sit the F down. I was like, who wants to play with me? Do you want to play with me? I'm like literally Dia, who wants to always need someone to play with her. Anyways, I'm like, Dad. So my dad would play 20 minutes because he would not go in the sun for more than 20 minutes. He would put his timer 20 minutes and 6 seconds because he needed to take off his shirt. That was the 6 seconds.
Stop.
Did you know my dad has OCD? Comme c'est sérieux là. And then I would make fun of him and he's like, is that weird? I'm like, very weird. I don't even know why you have a timer. Just look at the time. Like, I don't understand what's happening. And you had to add 6 seconds for the thing. It's too much. Anyways, and then I would play with my brother once they came. And then Dana would play sometimes. Anyways, I would always have a player that wanted to play with me. All that to say, we would like get all like crush with the ball, like the ball is going here, and like and then Kevin would say regroup, and then he would yell that, make me so laugh. I thought that was so funny, like regroup, like let's like get back on it. So we're regrouping right now, everyone. Like regroup.
We are regrouping.
Regroup. Okay, that was a good story. Okay, so our topic today is food labeling. Why do we want to talk about food labeling today, Alicia?
Because food labeling, we need to have a conversation about food labeling so that we can help to create awareness that the way that you speak about food is impacting your choices and your relationship with food more than you probably realize.
1000%. And at the end of the day, this is April and we're getting ready for our documentary. So it's like, as we're watching documentary footage, it's bringing up some of our messages that I'm like, oh, like we need to show up on the social media and talk about this again and again and again.
We do.
And so food labeling is a big one. And it's come up often in our documentary because imagine people, like some people were so upset that we're going to eat donuts, clearly because they have a relationship of how they speak about donuts. Even just us going around and asking, the public, would you eat a donut a day? Some were like, yes. Some were like, absolutely no. Like it was like poison, so that's food labeling. You label donuts as poison and the other person labels donuts as a yummy treat. Like it's very interesting how we speak about food.
And it's just, I think if we could make an impact for you to realize how important language is. So often we're speaking in a way, we're annoying with it. Like we're annoying. Like I need, and I'm so purposeful when I'm speaking, on social media, or when I'm creating a post and posting on social media, or when I'm doing a live with our members. The way that I speak is so important. People need to realize that that has value, that you need to start creating awareness about around how you're speaking about junk food, bad food. What is your language around that? And then let's work on changing that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted by that. Is that really going to help me lose weight? Yep.
You have to value it. You just said it has value. It has value on how you show up in your life. So, for example, like if you hear yourself and you see that your language does not align with how you want to show up in your life, it gives you that, like, if it gives you that moment of, well, I'm going to prioritize that next time, or I'm going to change how I behave because I see that that language is not making me behave how I want to behave. So for example, I forgot to like pay our location in Shidyak, okay? January, February, March. So all of it. Remember how we were in lockdown in January? So we weren't at the location. So in my mind, there was no location, but there were Thursdays. Anyways, I had a conversation with Robert before leaving on my vacation where he's like, I call him. I'm like, did I pay you? Because Jeff's like, I'm doing our thing. Like, do you have any receipts or whatever? Okay. So I called him. I'm like, Robert, did I pay you this year? Like, what's happening with me? And also January, remember I was dying,
Yes.
lockdown. It's just like, I was like, not myself. And then February, we do the documentary. It's
Yes.
like, I did not prioritize that part of my job. Like I just, and I've been like, not landlord, what's the thing? Tenant for 11 years. Okay. I pay my bills. Hello. I'm probably the only tenant. They need me to pay the friggin' electricity bill. So anyways, I call him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating in my back. This shirt is like
regroup.
Okay. So I call him. I'm like, Robert, did I pay you this year? He's like, nothing yet. And I'm like, oh, bello. I am so sorry. Like, whatever. So I'm like, I'm not like blaming anyone. I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's do it. So in my mind, I've done it. He texts me yesterday. He's like, did you drop off the checks for whatever? And I'm like, I don't know. Did I? Like, I don't even remember what I did before the vacation. He's like, you did not. So I sent an email to Nadia and I'm like, can you help me go through the calendar and tell me when we worked and we didn't work on Saturdays and Thursdays? Because I don't even know like what happened in January and February. So like I needed her to like do that for me. It took her 2 seconds. So she does it. And I'm like, she's like, I thought you paid him before you left. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. And then I regrouped and I said, I did not prioritize that. LOL. She's like, I see what you're doing. So I changed my language. And then because that sucked that I didn't prioritize paying my freaking bills like an adult. No, okay. I obviously put that in my calendar and then obviously will prioritize that before I go to the location tomorrow. Like it's a high priority right now. But me just saying I forgot, it's like I'm not like owning it. And I just like, so I changed my language because I want to show up in a way. I want to pay my bills. I want to be the person that pays her bills. Like I don't want him to keep texting me, So an example there.
I was really wondering how you were going to connect that, but I'm so proud.
Did it all come full circle?
It really did. Do you know what I want to say too, guys? Is when you first start to change your language, you will be changing it. Like you will first say, I forgot. Then after you will say, actually, I didn't forget. I didn't prioritize it. That's how you start to change your language. So you might say that food's bad. That's junk food. That's fattening. And then you're going to say, actually, no, that food is highly processed. That food doesn't have a lot of nutrients. You'll replace it. And then eventually you just start going with that initially. Are you going to make it?
What? I think it's the coffee. I don't know. What if I just do this in my bralette?
I was going to ask, are you wearing a bra?
I am wearing a bra. Whew. I mean, there's many there, and I think that's like a good example is that I forgot or I did not have time. Those are two languages or excuses or whatever reasons of things not being done. And I think if you can start changing that language and just say, I didn't prioritize it, please realize that what you accomplish in a day is what you prioritized. So if you accomplished nothing, you prioritized doing nothing today. You prioritized Netflix today. You prioritized sitting on your couch. You prioritized sex or you didn't. Like what you accomplished is what you prioritize, and what you did not accomplish was not lack of time. What you
And
did not accomplish is because you didn't prioritize it, and there's nothing bad.
I was going to say, and that's okay.
Yes, own it.
So we need to own it. I tried to have a conversation with Phoebe about owning our choices.
How did that go?
I mean, good, but like I didn't know if the language she like really understood, but it was like something little where she wasn't listening, and she's like, "Oh, but I got distracted." Like, no, we need to own our choices right now. You made the
Oh my
choice to
God.
ignore your father speaking to you. Let's talk about that, because I find that in her is a behavior that I really want her to understand. Like, that's a behavior. Even Neil, when he's like, "I didn't have time," I'm like, "You didn't prioritize it." He's like annoyed by me, but he knows
Alicia,
I'm
it's
right.
not just Phoebe, or yeah, Phoebe and Neil. It's literally every human on the planet
I
is
know.
struggling with owning their choices. It's a thing. Like, it's a thing.
It might be the one thing that could change your life more than any other thing you could ever listen to us talk about,
Hmm.
is not saying I didn't have time or making an excuse of why you didn't or did do something, and owning all of your choices.
And why is that important is because that's going to make you feel a certain way. And then that's going to make you behave differently. If you're like, I hate that I didn't prioritize whatever. I hate that I didn't prioritize paying him. It made me
Yeah.
feel icky. I was like,
Yeah.
vraiment, Jose, what were you thinking? How did you forget that? So I made a behavior after that. I took action after that to write it on a thing. And it's like, and I sent myself an email, and I was like, you are not forgetting to pay this loan, you know? So I do think that food labeling is language change. So that's literally what we're saying, right? Like, food labeling is just language. It's just what you're saying out loud. Language is what you say out loud, how you label things out loud.
And it matters.
It does.
The way that you speak about food is impacting the way you act around that food, and your
Yeah.
actions are what get the results. But we don't go actions, we go here to our thoughts.
Yeah. And maybe, you know what? You don't, how about you start creating awareness, as always? You know, we're again annoying with that, but it's all about creating awareness right now. And it might not be weight loss related. It might not be exercise related or whatever. It's just life related. And if you see yourself always in life, anything saying, I don't have time, I'm tired or whatever, it's just, I didn't prioritize that, and see how that makes you feel. And then you're almost going to authentically build the person you want to be and how you want to show up. And you'll see yourself, you're going to use a lot, I didn't have time. That's a big one.
Oh yeah. Or
I
even
forgot,
just some
but
other
yeah.
reason why. You could have said, I was sick. We did the Tim Hortons documentary. You know what I mean? Like, you go
Yeah.
to the excuses, the reasons why, but at the end of the day, the reason why is it wasn't prioritized.
Yeah. I prioritized the whole documentary, but I didn't prioritize, so it's just, I didn't prioritize it, and I'm okay with that. And then also, like, the minute I got the message, I called him. Like, I'm not ignoring, and I'm not like, and I think he's like, oh, it's fine. Like, I think when you own stuff, it almost makes the conversation or the vibe be more like, oh, okay. Like, people are more like, ils comprennent plus, and they'll be more nice about, like, oh, she actually took responsibility.
Like when the nice police officer pulled me over and he said,
Shut
your
up.
inspection isn't expired.
When
And
was this?
I was like, I don't know where these papers are. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not an adult. And then I was like, do you know what, sir? It was also when the world was like closed, literally like closed. Like, you couldn't
Right.
even go. I didn't prioritize that. And he was like, you could tell he was almost like taken aback by it. And he gave me
Yeah,
a warning.
of course he did. No, I agree. I think there's better, it almost is a better conversation at the end than you just saying, I didn't have time. It's just like, it just wasn't a priority. And sometimes you do that with friendships, you do that with your marriage, you do that with whatever. And then that's, if you can have those conversations early or often and say, I'm still not prioritizing that friendship. I'm still not prioritizing my time with my kids. I'm still not prioritizing. And then you can want to change that behavior.
And like you said, you get that icky feeling. If you don't care, if you say to yourself, I didn't prioritize reading with my kids last month,
Yes.
and if you don't care, continue.
Carry on. No, absolutely.
Carry on.
There are things that I don't prioritize and I don't care.
But if you get that nagging feeling, you're like, I really wanted to prioritize that. That's really who I want to be. Reading to my kids is going to fill my bucket. Then prioritize it.
Because who you are and your life is just an accumulation of all your priorities. So at one point, you can't prioritize everything. Not everything aligns with who you are. Not everything aligns with your values. So yeah, I don't prioritize that. Oh, but I do prioritize this because that is more who I am. And I think that if you don't use that language, you won't get to build who you want to be. That was good. Let's end with that.
Did this not just turn into the best podcast ever?
Regroup. We needed to regroup.
Regroup.
Oh my goodness, everyone. So just create awareness around your language, around food, but around your life as well, and what you are prioritizing, and own it. And then the only thing that you can do next is change your behavior or keep going.
And I hope that after people watch the documentary, they will realize how they've been food labeling, the impact of
Yeah.
food labeling, and really like that will be a powerful message that comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that our strongest message in this documentary is our relationship with food, which also it starts by how we speak about it.
Yeah.
It's like our relationship with husband. You speak shit about him all the time. This is the relationship you're going to get, you know? So it's how you speak about things is going to change your relationship with it. Okay, everyone. So hoping you already purchased your ticket by now. It is in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today. That's 21 days. So in 3 weeks, we will see you on stage, whether virtually or at the Capitol in Moncton. Go buy your ticket right now. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.